What's up, everyone? This is Pooka, and welcome to another game I played on the Pokemon trading card game online. So, with the recent changes with the rules and the errata to Pokemon Catcher, a lot of people have been trying to figure out what decks are good, what decks are not good anymore. So I think it's interesting to just kind of try everything out. And one of the decks we're going to try out here is the Darkrai Garbodor deck. Now, before the rule changes, this deck was very strong. It had pretty solid matchups across the board, and, you know, it really abused Pokemon Catcher and being able to lock someone down with Garbotoxin and then use Sableye Junk Hunt very effectively. But now, there are a few things going against it, like you can see here. I totally forgot I could not even use Junk Hunt going first, because you cannot attack if you're going first. So that's a downside number one. You're probably going to lose out on some strong first turns because you can't use Sableye Junk Hunt. This was the strongest start for the deck, and you really can't do that unless you go second. But, you know, you pretty much always want to go first. So that is a downside here. Looks like we're going up against some kind of Virizion deck. Might be Virizion Genesect. It could be Virizion Mewtwo. We'll have to see. And then also the Pokemon Catcher errata did hurt this deck quite a bit, because it did rely on kind of stalling for time, bringing things active, kind of grinding your opponent down, and now it's on a coin flip. So we'll see how these things affect the deck. One thing it did gain is Crushing Hammer. We got that back with Legendary Treasures. As you can see, there is one in my hand. I do get a Tails here. But Crushing Hammer and Sableye, this is probably the most annoying combo we've seen in the game in a long time. You just sit there and spam Crushing Hammers. You get them back with Sableye's Junk Hunt. And let's see, I'm going to go for another Crushing Hammer, and I get a Tails. It's kind of a bummer, but we do have a Dowsing Machine. If I really want to, I can go for that again. And I think that's actually very crucial. If my opponent, I'm going to play the random receiver here first. If my opponent is able to use Emerald Slash, they're going to get 2 more energy in play. So we're going to try to get Crushing Hammer back, and there we go. We discard the grass. And, yeah, if they can use Emerald Slash and get a bunch of energy in play, Crushing Hammer becomes almost worthless because, well, they have so many energy in play, you can't remove them all. But if we can stop Virizion from getting 2 energy, we can maybe run my opponent out of energy or something like that. It's a really boring strategy, but it's quite effective. We've seen it used quite a lot. For example, Dustin Zimmerman at the World Championships made top 4 with this kind of a deck, purely focused on running the opponent out of energy with Sableye and Crushing Hammer. So here we go with another couple Crushing Hammers there. We get 1 heads, and then we draw the Dark Patch. So the difficult thing with this kind of a deck is deciding, well, when do I want to actually go on the offensive? Like right here, I have a Night Spear available to me. I can retreat and attack. And that very well might be the right thing to do here. My opponent has no energy in play. But I'm going to decide to Junk Hunt and just kind of improve my position. You know, we'll get back all of our resources, get back a Crushing Hammer, and the Dowsing Machine. Kind of wait until we can get Garbodor set up too. And then, again, slowly grind down the opponent. We're in a great position right now, and we'll see what we can do. But here we go with another couple Crushing Hammers. Going to discard the Grass Energy off of the benched Virizion EX. And you know what? Just power up a new Darkrai. We can also play a Skyla here for a Float Stone, so we can get that on to our Garbodor and shut off the abilities. But it looks like here I decided enough's enough. This would be an extremely boring video if I just sat here and used Crushing Hammer all day. So for the sake of entertainment, we're going to retreat and Night Spear. And I don't think this is actually a bad move by any means, but I think the conservative thing, perhaps the better thing to do there, is actually just to Junk Hunt again for 2 Crushing Hammer. And, you know, kind of play it that way. So here we have a a Pokemon catcher, I would like to go ahead and bring out that other Virizion and try to set up a double knockout, but I get Tails, and I'm just going to go with another Night Spear, knock out the Virizion EX, and, if my opponent Emerald Slashes now, at least we have a 2-prize advantage, and also we have a fully powered Darkrai, another one on the bench with a Dark on it already, and Sableye has Dark on it too, so we can always Junk Hunt if need be. So things are looking up for now. We'll see what happens. We can definitely lose from here. This can swing around very easily. Look at how many resources are gone. Something that can happen with these kind of decks is you think, well, I have Sableye. I can just Junk Hunt and recover whatever I want to. But, I mean, look what's in there. There's a couple lasers, a couple catchers, 3 crushing hammer. So it's like, oh, I think I can't really Junk Hunt for 6 things at once. So, this is actually a problem. You run out of resources. You can only Junk Hunt for 2 things at a time. So maybe I got ahead of myself. And here we see the Hypnotoxic Laser and the Verbank City Gym. I didn't play mine down because I did not have a laser. So I didn't want to boost my opponents. And this could be the turning point here. We do have a lot of damage on my opponent's field. I could just Night Spear and take 2 more prizes on the Virizion. Then kind of soften up the Mewtwo, and then that's really all I have to take to win the game. But if I stay asleep here, we're in some big trouble. I don't have a switching card to get out of here. And oh no. Alright, so this is how quickly things can turn around. This is actually a big weakness in this Darkrai Garbodor deck, I feel. These kinds of situations happen quite often where it's nice that you shut off your opponent's abilities, but sometimes your active Darkrai does get poisoned, and you just kind of can't do anything about it, because you would like to be able to retreat, but then you have to pay the 2 energy since Darkrai's Dark Cloak is deactivated by Garbotoxin. Plus, I stayed asleep. And this deck plays so many float stones, so it doesn't have a lot of actual switch or escape rope. I think I have one of those switching cards in this deck, because normally you don't need it, but this is a big weakness. You can get hit by these Hypnotoxic Lasers very easily. But we're going to have to find a way to deal with that looming threat of gigantic Mewtwo. It has 4 energy on it. Mewtwo is very scary for Darkrai if it gets up to 6 or 7 energy. It can really just knock out Darkrai in 1 hit, and Darkrai can't do the same. It just limits itself to 90 damage from Night Spear. Plus 20 from a Dark Claw, but you're usually not knocking out Mewtwo in 1 hit here. So now I have to decide what I want to do. I really don't want to put the Darkrai in harm's way. If I could, I would like to just Hypnotoxic Laser and Junk Hunt this turn to knock out the Virizion EX since it only has 20 HP left. We shut off its ability so we can poison it, which is very nice. That's one of the things that separates Darkrai Garbodor from a straight Darkrai deck. You can Hypnotoxic Laser against these decks with Virizion EX. So we can go ahead and Laser, poison the Virizion, and then we can go ahead and Junk Hunt. I think this is the most powerful attack in the game. Junk Hunt for a knockout. It's simultaneously the most embarrassing way to knock someone out, and also the most powerful way to knock somebody out. So we're going to take back a Dowsing Machine and a Hypnotoxic Laser. Now these decisions are really important at this point. We can see the game state is very fragile for me. Look at those things. They're all super powered. We have Bouffalant, 2 of them with 2 grass energy on it. A Mewtwo with 4 energy on it. So how are we going to take down these threats? My opponent's only down 2 prizes at this point. I do have a Darkrai almost powered up, but that could easily be knocked out by a Mewtwo. And even in 2 hits by a Bouffalant. So we see the Hypnotoxic Laser, and there is the double Colorless going on to the Bouffalant, and there's an Ultra Ball. Not sure what that's going to grab. Maybe another Virizion or something like that. I don't know. But my win condition here is going to be Catcher out the Mewtwo, and then Dark Claw and Laser. Then we can hit for 140, knock out the Mewtwo for the game. That's going to be the plan. Whether or not we can pull that off, oh, well, that'll be an interesting story. I do have a Dowsing Machine and a Darkrai, or Darkrai doesn't matter. I have the Dowsing Machine, I can get a catcher. I have the Dark Claw, and I have the Laser. And go figure, a top ticket catcher. I was thinking I was going to have the Dowsing Machine for the catcher, but alright, catcher and heads, and alright, let me just do the math here. 140 HP left. Hypnotoxic Laser, that's going to add 30. Dark Claw is going to add 20. So that's going to make my Night Spear 140 total. So I can just Dowsing Machine for the Dark Patch. Get the Darkness Energy onto the bench, Darkrai, retreat, and then Night Spear for the win. So I do think this is an interesting deck going forward. It lost some strength with the rule changes, but it gained some strength with Crushing Hammer. I think that is pretty obvious. So I don't know. This can be a very boring deck to play, but very powerful, as we could see in this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll have some more for you soon. I am Pooka from the Top Cut, and I will see you guys next time.